Hey, good morning. I am on my way to work this morning and I was thinking about an Ask Misty. Now, also, if anybody watching this video knows of a new Ask site, let me know. Ask FM is no longer up and running, but that's how people used to write in and ask me questions. And that's how I used to answer them several years ago. I'm going to answer a live question today. And this was done on stage when I was doing one of my workshops, keynote speeches, talks about understanding your LGBTQIA plus slash transgender clients and coworkers, where I talk about specifically transgender 101, who, the when, the where, the what, the science. And afterwards, this training was specifically for police officers. And afterwards, when I'm finished and I'm done, I stick around for question and answer. I release them for lunch and let people know I'll stick around for question and answer. And this particular day, I was probably there for a full hour. I don't know what they did for lunch because their whole lunch break was spent asking me question and answers. And the first question I got was this question. And everyone sat back down and listened to my answer and had more questions. But the first guy that went was furious. The new Buzz Lightyear movie had just come out. And there was a scene where a woman kissed another woman. If you didn't see the movie, Buzz Lightyear had a buddy who was a girl. And then when Buzz Lightyear got shot into space and frozen in time, the girl aged. And it showed, I don't know, a 30-second montage of the girl aging. It showed her getting older and it showed her falling in love. It showed her falling in love with a woman. Oh, mind you, though his partner was a woman of color and she fell in love with a white woman. So interracial relationship, lesbian relationship. Then they had a kid and they raised this kid together. And this 30-second montage was mostly about the aging of his former partner and the child that he is now meeting as an adult. Like, I knew your grandma, or maybe it was mother, I don't remember. It's been a couple years since I saw the movie. And the officer was furious that his 9-year-old child saw a lesbian kiss on TV, on a movie screen. And I said, yeah, that must have been very challenging for you. And he was just so mad. And I said, you know what? I agree with you. I think that you should never show somebody kissing on movies. I think you should never show people kissing on TV. I think that with children watching TVs and movies, we should eliminate all kissing, period. End of story. It is not allowed. It is not permitted. It should not be accepted in any shape or form. No kissing. And he's like, well, I didn't say no kissing. I just said no lesbian kissing or no gay kissing. And I said, well, that's not fair. So you're saying we could watch 600 straight kisses, but not one gay kiss. That sounds like a bias to me. That sounds like a you problem to me, not like a world problem. And he got very defensive. And this is the question. He said, you have to admit there is an agenda. There is an agenda. The gays have an agenda and they're shoving it down our throats. I politely replied, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. We do have an agenda. And he gasped. The gays would say, he fully gagged. But he gasped. And a lot of the audience looked at each other and looked at me. And I said, we do have an agenda. Our agenda is to reduce bullying. Our agenda is to reduce suicidal ideation. Our agenda is to teach tolerance and acceptance. Visibility matters. And the reason I say that is because when I was young, I knew that I was a girl at 4 years old, but I didn't know that there were other humans in the world like me. I thought I was broken. I thought God punished me. I used to pray for a vagina every night at bedtime until 4th grade. Please, 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 can I wake up with a vagina? I knew our God was, I'm an evangelical Christian, and I knew our God could heal and fix people. And I knew in my heart that God could give me a vagina while I was sleeping. And I would wake up with a vagina. And every morning I would check, and I didn't have vagina. But when awareness and visibility is in the world, and you can see other humans like you, now think of it historically, looking at magazine covers in their grocery store, what is it? Beautiful, skinny white people. It is very important for people of color to have visibility. When they go to the grocery store to buy groceries, they need to see people of color on this. And when LGBTQ people see them represented as adults, they're given messages of love and acceptance that they can also be successful. They can also have jobs. They also can have love and respect and self-worth. Those are valuable messages. Awareness and visibility. I'm not saying you need to teach your children how or why to understand LGBTQIA issues or people, but simply knowing that other people exist. Why is that a problem for you? If you invite a deaf person to come and speak to a class and they talk in sign language and say thank you and you're beautiful and things like that, it doesn't make the kid deaf. It might, however, make them less likely to bully a deaf person when they see them talking with their hands. Oh, I understand what's happening. Knowing that other gay people are in the world, and sometimes two ladies kiss in a 30-second montage. I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, again, if you want to say no kissing allowed on TV and movies, fine. I agree. Don't expose children to people kissing. Definitely don't expose children to get sex scenes. But how many gay kids watched Romeo and Juliet or read the book in school? Did that book make them straight? No, of course not. You are born LGBTQIA. You don't choose it. Why would somebody choose to be one of the most hated populations of the world? Oh my God, the sun. Why would this be a choice? It's not a choice. 10% of the human population is LGBTQ. 1% is trans. Just one. And with that visibility and with that awareness, if these young people can see that other people are like them and the bullies stop bullying, that reduces suicidal ideation. Our diversity makes us beautiful. Our unity gives us power. But I do understand how that could be super scary for some parents. Like, every child goes through a phase. You watch The Karate Kid, and for 3 days, you're a Karate Kid. And for 2 days after watching Frozen, you're let it go, let it go. I get it. Every kid goes through phases, and your fear is that they are exposed or they see an LGBTQIA plus scenario montage or just pure visibility on a movie or a TV show, and now they have words to describe themselves. I do understand. My parents were the same way. My mom knew I was a girl, God, probably before I did. And she definitely knew I was LGBTQ before I came out. But she hoped, and she told me, she hoped that I would fight it my whole life. Why would a parent hope that for a child? I attempted to take my own life 3 times because I was afraid to be me. I would rather burn in hell for taking my life than be me. That's a scary thought. So yeah, letting children know that there's somebody else in the world like them, it could be scary for parents, but it could be life-saving for children. So yeah, I am going to say the LGBTQIA plus community does have an agenda. Self-love, self-awareness, acceptance. There's no such thing as recruiting. You're biologically queer or you're not. That's it. And I will say there's one more agenda that I forgot to mention. Equal rights. To me, the true definition of privilege is never needing a Supreme Court to decide if you can have the same rights as your fellow humans. That's a problem. When 10% of the human population is LGBTQIA and 1% of the human population is transgender, and every time there's an election or every time there's a Supreme Court battle, you have to watch the news to see if it affects you. Have you heard of minority stress? No bueno. Minority stress is real, and minority stress will take your life. And the last and final thing I thought of to put on the LGBTQIA plus agenda is a sense of community. We as humans were created to commune with each other. If you're a baby and no one loves you and nobody touches you and nobody holds you, what happens? You die. As humans, you will die of loneliness faster than you will die from smoking. You need a sense of community. And if you don't know that there are other people out there in the world like you, that loneliness, that isolation, that self-hatred, that self-disgust, yeah, I guess we do have an agenda. Thanks for asking. Loving you, Cece.